The Prime Minister discusses another option for cheaper financing for Dominica. 45 graduate from a Hospitality Apprenticeship Training Module, and the Caribbean Court of Justice fully effective this February. Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Tasia Floissac.
And I'm Nisha Charles. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Thanks for staying with us. The Honorable Prime Minister Skerrit has announced that starting this month, the Caribbean Court of Justice will be fully effective in Dominica. An amendment was made to the Constitution in 2014 to allow Dominica to regard the CCJ as its final court of appeal.
There are some administrative matters that we had to take into consideration, but I expect court to come to full effect for Dominica by early February 2015. Certainly, as we indicated last year, this is an historic opportunity for Dominica. It would mean allowing more ordinary citizens to have greater access to the judiciary system. So we are very keen on seeing the operationalization of the courts in its final jurisdiction for the Commonwealth of Dominica. So I'm very pleased to announce that come February, the court will take full effect in Dominica.
The Prime Minister made this announcement last week.
The dream of success and self-employment has become a reality for 45 young people from the east to the southeast of Dominica. These young people received their certification from a Hospitality Apprenticeship Training Module in bartending, wait service, culinary arts and housekeeping, all part of the National Employment Program. The government of Dominica has spent over $120,000 on the module, which includes the payment of stipends during the 6-week training and an additional 6-week attachment. On Friday, the young people received their certification from the Dominica State College.
One of the things that's happening in the world today you do not know, and I have to give, is a concept of career technical education. And in the next 20 years, you're going to be hearing about it. What is career technical education? It is the merging of academic and technical education to create careers in students and people who need to join the workforce. In other words, there's no need to go to school for 4 years if you want to be a bartender. You can get all the competencies you need, and if you do it in an environment like a college, you can work anywhere in the world.
According to the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Salibia constituency, Cassius Daru, the hospitality industry accounts for 10% of the world's gross domestic product.
During the last decade, the tourism industry and the hospitality industry has gotten so much importance. It is vigorously expanding, and that we need to take advantage of because of the multicultural or the plurality of our environment.
The module brought together young persons from the Grand Four, Laplane, Castle Bruce and the Salibia constituencies.
I want you to know, trainees, graduating class, that you form a very important part of the overall service sector. See yourselves as professionals. Some of you will get jobs in the service sector. Some of you will open your own business. But please go for it. Let absolutely nothing stop you. You may not eventually be employed in the service sector, but consider every bit of the training that you've gone through over the past months as part of the stepping stone for going further in life.
Do not just see yourself as fitting in one of the facilities in the east or southeast, but see yourself as an individual who can go out there and bring about a change in what we know as the norm, the culture in our eastern communities. Create for yourselves and for us here in the eastern part of Dominica a new type, a new brand of facility.
And the graduating class is determined to use their newfound skills to provide exceptional service to potential clients.
After 6 weeks of theoretical and practical training, making different cocktails, learning to price drinks, doing customer service role plays, we were placed on attachment. This part of the training placed me in a bigger spotlight. There I had to prove myself worthy of being a bartender. I'm happy that I did it. And of course, I'm going to use what I have learned to more learning and practices.
The island's Honorable Finance Minister, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, has committed to cheaper financing options for potential investors. That commitment came with the announcement of a new line of credit from Venezuelan bank and development partner Bandes.
We have made a request to the Bandes for a new line of credit of between 10 to 16 million United States dollars. And my visit to Venezuela was followed by a visit from the chairman and some board members and the GM to discuss with the leadership of Bandes. And I am satisfied that we will be able to get a loan of at least $10 million additionally from the Bandes to lend to the private sector at a maximum of 6% interest, which is good news for many investors in the country.
According to the Prime Minister, that's not all. Even more financing options are being sought at this time.
Over the years, the bank has been able to provide a better mix of resources at better interest rates, from a high of 11 and 12% to a low of 6% over the years. And this could only be achieved because of the government going out there to negotiate financing for the bank at lower interest rates. And that's what we did with the European Investment Bank, that's what we did with the Bandes of Venezuela. And I give you the commitment as the Minister of Finance, we will continue to look at other avenues.
Honorable Skerrit was addressing the 8 banks' 22nd annual general meeting.
The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is making good on his promise to bring more development to the east of Dominica. Last Friday, government signed a contract with the European Union for a $22 million project to rehabilitate the roads from Bois Diab to Point Milat in the east of the country.
Several months ago, and especially during the period of the last general elections campaign, I visited several communities and families in the east of the country and assured residents of my personal commitment to fast-tracking efforts at improving the living conditions, particularly as they related to infrastructure and the integrity of the physical terrain.
That promise will be realized in the coming months when work will begin on the project. The project is expected to last for 18 months.
I am therefore elated this morning to be able to use as our stepping out project in 2015 the signing of this agreement for the rehabilitation and upgrade of physical infrastructures in certain parts of eastern Dominica. I said in the campaign for the December 8th general elections that the East would get its due in this 4th term of the Dominica Labour Party administration, and I am intent on keeping that promise.
So Tasia, this is a major milestone for the government. I think, you know, the Bois Diab to Point Milat project, the road rehabilitation, is very good for government because since the incident where in 2011 there was a major disaster and a lot of road works were impaired, so it had to be fixed, and here we have the EU coming in and funding this project. Just so the viewers can get a better idea of the area, this is from the Poncase area going all the way back to Daly's. So this will include communities like Daly's, La Plaine, Montjon, Rives-Torique, all the way back to Poncase. So a lot of people are going to be affected by this road improvements.
Yes, exactly. And we know that government has a vision to have 60% of the road in good condition by 2015, which is this year, and 100% complete by 2020. And actually, we have surpassed that. In 2013, we recorded a 61% good road network condition. So you can only imagine where we stand right now, and how much more, you know, that we have left to complete by 2020. We might even finish before then.
Okay. And just to say that we have done a number of road projects recently, like the Poncasse Road to Melvin Hall Airport, the Canefield Road, the West Coast Road to Portsmouth, and a lot of the other roads, like even in the Roseau area leading to the hospital, the back road, you know, going into the valley, all these roads, and they have brought significant improvements to the lives of the people who commute every day, even the ambulance service. You see that normally, unless it's a serious emergency, the ambulance does not even go through the city. They just use the back roads because it's a lot quicker. So this is just to say the amount of efficiency we are going to have with this new road.
Yes, and it has also benefited a lot of the residents in that area. You see that people can get to work on time, students can get to school on time. Even this morning I had to take the Portsmouth Road, and I was thinking about it, and it's so much shorter than it used to be. So we see that main benefit, and this is also beneficial to commerce, because we know that a lot of the communication and goods that are carried on these roads, well, before they used to be very late, or we could not get sufficient goods traveling those routes because of the poor road conditions. Now that we are fixed, we can actually see an increase or a boost in commerce if we are going to, like the Labour Party administration said, develop or increase agro-processing or the agro-processing sector. We definitely are going to need those roads in 100% condition.
And it says a lot for employment too, because even if it's an 18-month project, even though it's short-term, but within those 18 months, there are a lot of people from the communities where this road will be done that will receive employment.
And not just employment, but you get the hands-on education, you develop the skills. By the time they're done, they could maybe build their own houses or know how to fix their own roads. So it's something that has a long-term effect, you know. And I mean, we look at, for example, the Melville Hall Airport Road. And I know all nationals anticipate to have an international airport, but unless roads are fixed, we are never going to have that international airport. So it's good that the government has made that decision to fix that road and many other roads across the country.
Okay. So by March, April, we will see the start of this new road.
By March, April, I think so.
Okay.
Dominica's Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank, Aid Bank, has revealed plans to upgrade its 3 industrial estates as part of its new strategic plan for the next 3 years. The new estates in Canefield, Grand Bay and Portsmouth will be eco-friendly, which follows with the bank's bid to lead the way towards a sustainable future for Dominica. A video presentation at the bank's annual general meeting cites the expectation that the remodeling will create employment opportunities for young persons. It will also be expected to allow for the establishment and expansion of enterprises in Dominica. One of the proposed designs for the Canefield estate features a roundabout at the entrance, a signature building on the Canefield Main Road, a new industrial estate, administrative building, and a transformed Eddie Tulo Park. The bank is currently in the process of seeking new financing and/or investors for the proposed upgrade. Bank Chairman Martin Charles gives insight in the strategic plan.
In its new strategic plan, the bank has decided to focus on sustainable development as being critical to its future and the future of our country. Sustainable development requires a new mindset and way of doing things so as to ensure that today's development activities secure a better quality of life for this generation as well as generations to come. The bank recognizes that this new direction will require a comprehensive policy, education, action, commitment, and time. The new plan also places special emphasis on institutional strengthening and capacity building in order to be able to provide excellent service to our customers.
The strategic plan also makes provision for the following.
The bank, as an institution, must itself operate from a position of strength in order to be able to contribute to a strong business climate in Dominica. Other innovations in the strategic plan 2014 to 2017 includes new products and services which will be rolled out over the next 3 years. expansion of our investment portfolio, the transformation of the industrial estates into a modern business park, strengthening the 8 Banks brand, improving on our customer service, and continuously improving of the bank's portfolio.
25 principals, deputy principals, and senior teachers selected from schools across the island will soon be in a better position to contribute to government's vision for the education sector of every child succeeds. The University of the West Indies Open Campus Dominica and the Ministry of Education have partnered to present a Master of Science degree in Management and Educational Leadership to these selected educators. This program will be funded under the Dominica Education Enhancement Project, the DEEP. DEEP, launched in 2010, concentrates on improving the quality of education at the primary and secondary school levels. Acting Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine says this initiative marks an important milestone for the Ministry of Education. She believes that it is an indication of government's continued commitment to developing the nation's human resource.
This initiative to equip our school leaders with the necessary skills so that they can provide sustainable leadership is the latest indication of the ministry's commitment to the development of the human resource within our schools. As we prepare our students for competitive roles within a 21st century workforce, we recognize the need for good instructional leaders who will produce highly trained and educated citizens. As ministry, we are aware that strong leadership, whether it is in the principal, the vice principal, or head of department or program, is the key to a successful school. Effective leaders are able to shape a vision of academic success for all their students, as well as create a climate that promotes successful teaching and learning. They also have the ability to cultivate leadership skills in others, improve instruction through supervision of the curriculum and teaching methods, and are able to manage people and processes for school improvement.
The program, which will last for 2 years, was developed in response to several consultations.
We had some 5 consultancies. We had consultancies in numeracy. There was a numeracy pilot consultancy. We had a multi-grade consultancy, a curriculum development consultancy, an early screening and diagnosis consultancy, and a maintenance consultancy. And all of these consultancies, at the end of the, well, when the reports were submitted and the recommendations were put in place, they were pointed to some level of deficiency in instructional leadership at our schools. And so here we are today, the project, or the government of Dominica, I should say, through the project and in collaboration with UWI, is responding to this difficulty, to this deficiency, and responding very quickly by putting together, you know, this program.
Elizabeth St. Clair, Program Director at the UWI, details the Master of Science degree program.
This program consists of 14 courses, 4 of which are electives from which the students will choose 2 for a total of 41 credits. These courses focus on areas of educational leadership and management and include a research seminar and research project. This program was specially designed for working persons who cannot study full-time at a physical campus and target senior teachers, principals, and ministry officials, which makes it ideal that we have 25 persons in such positions from the island of Dominica for a pilot offer. We hope to produce 25 highly trained and educated graduates, a cadre of leaders for the education sector possessing the skills to make strategic, economic, financial, and marketing decisions that will contribute to the education of Dominican citizens and the Caribbean on a whole.
Those selected for the program anticipate a challenging 2 years ahead. However, they are enthusiastic about the learning opportunity and grateful to share the vision of the Ministry of Education.
This essentially is a very exciting moment for us, for all of us, for me particularly. I have gone through the process, or a similar process, and I know it's going to be a lot of hard work it's going to be very challenging, I have no doubt. However, in the interim, we have been working and to get ready for the program, for the work ahead. And ultimately, I know that the government, the country, and more particularly the students are the ones who are going to benefit.
I am so grateful for what the Ministry of Education has done. And I think if I have to speak on behalf of all my other colleagues, we definitely owe a debt of gratitude to the Ministry of Education just for selecting us for this master's program. It is something I always wanted to do. And as the Chief said, effective leadership brings about effective schools. And for us to work at our schools, for us to make the schools what they are supposed to be, this program will indeed help us with that.
The program was designed specifically for educators, and Dominica is the first country in the region to pilot the program. Classes commence today, Monday, February 2nd, 2015.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, gouvernement Dominique travaille et puis People's Republic of China qui concerne plusieurs sujets internationaux. Parole celle-là sortie du Premier Ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit.
Sujet le travail et puis climate change. C'est un métier qui a affecté tout pays là Dominique aussi. Et puis ça nous a essayé de faire travail et puis China ni knowledge là pour développer certaines technologies qui assistent nous. Comme ça, il y a pour qui 3000 street lights. Nous qui mettons chez Dominique pour faire situation puis mais pour Dominique qui traverser ces chemins là. C'est solar street lights. C'est pas il peut que pour connecter avec Dominique. C'est solar. So ça qui aide nous aussi. So on l'objet nous travailler avec China et représente UN là aussi, United Nations. Changement dans United Nations nous travailler avec China. C'est ça. Nous aussi travailler avec China pour lutter contre le terrorisme, pour plus safety, plus safety en latéral même. Comme ça. Mais China même on a un problème aussi. Mais quand on a une bonne relation avec eux, ils peuvent aider nous en grande manière. Donc nous pouvons remercier le gouvernement China pour tout ça qu'il a fait par PEP Dominique.
On a une nouvelle et Banque Dominique a engagé un programme pour attirer les compagnies faire business en pays là. Parole ça là sorti le chairman Martin Charles. Charles aussi fait parole programme pour attirer les femmes faire business.
Et premier ça nous a allé faire, nous a comme on dit avant, nous allons bâtir des bons chais dans Kenfield pour faire un bon attractif pour nous ça ni des trois compagnies internationales venir Dominique. Nous déjà ni Claire Harbor nous a vrai qui nous qui attracter plus compagnies comme Claire Harbor et les autres compagnies pour descendre. Deuxièmement, nous avons un produit qui tout le monde qui sorti éduqué koyo étudié universitaire. Nous avons un programme ça qui baille l'argent pour commencer ce business pour si l'on est un docteur, les ouvertures office, un architecte, c'est mon professionnel là. Nous avons un plan pour nous aider pour commencer le business. Et troisièmement, nous avons un produit la toute femme Dominique qui en agriculture. Ils peuvent venir côté Aid Bank, nous qui baillons l'argent pour faire vegetables, n'importe qui bitin yo lever en agriculture. Et aussi ces gens là qui les planter coco, ces gens là qui les planter dashing, ces gens là qui les en développer agriculture. Et il y a des trois femmes aussi dans ces petits communes là, ils prennent l'argent pour ça ouvert anti-entreprise en commune comme yo sa coude, yo sa fait d'autres bitins. Et yo les ouvert anti-corporation, mais yo pas ni l'argent là. So, aide banque aller dans ces villages là pour yo ça aider ces monde ça là pour yo ça taper l'argent pour commencer un petit business.
En tant que nouvelle, travail qui peut commencer à ce projet Roseau River Promenade. Parole ça là sorti au officier technical ministre tourist Edward Henderson.
Merci, mais ça nous a commencé encore. So, aujourd'hui pour 3 mois encore, 3-4 mois. Voilà qui est fini. Nous avons invité tender pour l'autre côté live here. Ça c'est phase 2 en projet. So bon, moi mais comme ça, nous avons l'autre progrès sur l'autre côté live here. So ça c'est phase 2. Ça c'est un l'autre wall avec un boardwalk. So ça qui prend plus longtemps pour ça sur l'autre côté live here n'est plus gros. So nous pour manger problème gros ça va commencer voilà sur côté ça. So nous que tender bon après mais pour ça nous va faire avec ça.
Et puis finalement le gouvernement Dominique fait appointment accreditation board pour gouvernement et éducation qui conduit en Dominique. Président association Teacher Dominique Syllian Nicolas, c'est président board cela.
Actuellement, moi c'est chairman National Accreditation Board. Mon pour dire moun c'est pas moun là, c'est institution là ou ka represent. Tout ça, so National Accreditation Board il commencé en 2006. Avec loi là qui dit qui moun qui ni pour asso board là. Avec your chief education officer in your moun from state attorney or Dortmund private sector, or mon teacher association, or mon state college, or mon medical board, ever in your Dortmund, moka obili actuellement, mais il ka dit moun c'est moun la qui ka sous board ça là, c'est plus pour position, ok? So actuellement so là you select you voye lettre vers you di moun ba yo no ki moun ki ke represente yo là avec les nous joindre nou board la ka decide ki moun yo vle pour chairman yo.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour présent. Non moi c'est McPherson, c'est Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, a good reason to become a blood donor.
Think water, think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans, and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DOWASCO is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DOWASCO is your water and sewage company.
A good reason to become a blood donor is that you get a mini checkup. Before you give blood, you first have to complete a quick physical that measures your temperature, pulse, blood pressure and hemoglobin levels.
After your blood is collected, it's sent off to a lab where it will undergo 13 different tests for infectious diseases. If anything comes back positive, you'll be notified immediately.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Desk, I'm Nisha.
And I'm Tasia Floissac. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.